Hello viewers, I hope you're well. Now, it's been a busy year of testing bikes here on the channel in 2024. I've ridden some amazing road, gravel and mountain bikes, but now in this video, I want to share the bikes I'm excited to ride and test and share with you in 2025. And do let me know if you have any requests by dropping a comment down below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? Hit that button down below. Right, let's dive in. Like nearly everything in life, sadly, bikes cost way more than they used to. But one brand that seems to be bucking the trend is Cube. The German company has always been strong on value for money and does it with a good network of dealers. So you don't buy it online through their website and it arrives in a box and you assemble it yourself. You go to the bike shop, see the bike you want, and then ride it out the store. Now, I have ridden a Cube in the past, but not for a few years. But there are a couple of bikes heading their way right now, so watch this space, as they say. And if you want to see those bikes, make sure to subscribe by hitting that button down below. And a good reason to get excited as well, because the value for money looks sensational. Here are just two examples. The top of the range Lightning Aero with a SRAM red AXA group set is half the price of a Tarmac SL8. Half the price, just over £7,000. That's crazy. That's like 2015 prices in 2025. The Agree C62, their sort of endurance model, but with loads of aero, with an Ultegra Di2 group set and carbon deep section wheels, costs just over £3,000. Honestly, I have no idea how Cube is doing this. How are the prices so low? What is the catch? Well, I can't wait to ride the bikes and find out in the new year, so stay tuned for those very soon. You'll know I love a giant road bike. Value for money, great design and fantastic performance, if lacking, if we're honest, and we're snobby, the desirability of other brands. But I was blown away by a new SL bike I rode in Taiwan at the launch back in March, but the heat and the humidity of riding in Taiwan also blew me away. So I'm excited to ride the mid-range Pro in a more familiar weather and on local roads very soon. I even bought the previous generation Pro frame set off the back of reviewing the last model I tested in 2021. So should my credit card be worried, or is there not enough reason to change and upgrade to a new bike? I can't wait to find out. Wild looks, wild ride performance. Well, I've ridden it around a car park and in a video watched by over 1 million people, there's lots of interest in the bike for sure. And riding that bike around the car park in my trainers and shirt, two things struck me. The steering is much quicker than a V4RS, really noticeable straight away. And a handlebar clearly designed for riding the hoods or drops only. So it should be super responsive, fantastic for that snappy ride that a racer wants, and fantastic in the corners. But is it too compromised in that pursuit of speed, and what is the comfort like? I've no idea. I'd push it down in the saddle and there is a bit of flex you can feel, but riding around a car park outside a 5-star hotel, I can't tell how smooth it is through my bum. So hopefully something I'll find out in the new year. Not a bike designed to have massive appeal, of course, but a bike as a pinnacle or road bike design right now. I can't wait to find out how it rides and if it rides anything like it looks. Now, the Scott Addict RC is a bike I'm keen to ride because it weighs 5.9 kilograms in top-end build, that crazy light. But even a mid-range Ultegra build is apparently sub 7 kilos, so pretty light even down the range, where normally the Halo bikes are super lightweight, but get down to Ultegra or 105 and they're really heavy. That doesn't seem to be the case here. And that low weight is thanks to a frame weighing a claimed 640 grams, which is only 55 grams heavier than a Specialized ASOS, but with internal routing and aero-shaped tube profiles. Now, I'm no weight weenie, but there's something nice about riding a light bike, how it feels underneath you, how it responds to your inputs. And because weight has been a focus of development for over 100 years, ever since the first safety bicycle was invented, people have been trying to make bikes lighter and lighter and lighter. And yes, bikes from 10 years ago were this light, but not with disc brakes, bigger tyres, electronic gears and bigger gear ratios. And in my experience of riding a 10-year-old Super 6 Evo, way better ride quality as well. Feel less fragile and definitely less stiff and less harsh. I rode the range-topping Madone SL in Spain with a lovely SRAM red AXA group set, but I'm really excited to ride the mid-range SL version. It costs half the money, but is it half the bike? I don't think so. You have to be heavier and a bit less aero thanks to a regular handlebar, but a massive saving. Still looks fantastic. You still have the ISOFlow, still get carbon wheels. So this is a bike I can't wait to ride and see how much performance it offers compared to the range topping version I rode at the launch. I love my Colnago C68 and a geometry which is the same as a V4RS race bike because it's racy, but the slacker head angle makes it one of the best descending bikes in the world in my opinion. But given most young people with an interest in speed and racing are buying the V4RS, the new C68 Allroad with its more relaxed geometry probably makes better sense for people buying the current C68. So old gits like me essentially. The gentleman's race bike, as you might say. So along with their more relaxed geometry, the upright stack and shorter reach, there's also space for wide tyres as well. Up from 32 on the regular bike, up to a more usable 35. I wish they'd gone a bit wider, 38 perhaps, but there we go. Italians have never really done endurance and wide tyre clearance. Talking of which, frankly, I was underwhelmed by the Pinarello Dogma X. A great race bike, make no mistake, but usable in the real world, not for me. But maybe the new X endurance bike will impress me more. Really intrigued to see how that lattice structure in the rear stays, copes with rough roads, and what the geometry is like compared to a Giant Defy or a Specialized Roubaix. I am worried though, straight off the bat, that the 35mm tyre clearance is simply not enough in 2025, whereas those other bikes I mentioned, the Defy and Roubaix, up to 40. I've been lucky to ride most of the popular aero bikes on the market right now, but one missing from my library is the Factor Ostro VAM. I don't really get the whole Factor fanboy thing, but they are popular and it does look pretty cool. It's pretty light as well thanks to those black ink wheels, and I've been impressed riding the black ink wheels on the Secan Spear recently, so maybe it's a bike that deserves my time. Hopefully find out next year. This Icelandic company's first road bike has slightly odd looks compared to a conventional road bike, but some interesting details for an endurance bike that definitely make it stand out other than the way it looks. So what they've aimed to do is give the bike essentially race bike fit, but with more relaxed, sure-footed handling from the wheelbase and the head angle and other measurements, which is an interesting mix. There's also a big focus on comfort as well, aside from the big tyres, with super slender rear stays, and apparently the frame will sag by 4.5mm with a rider on board. So you sit on a bike and it sags, which is something you get on a suspension mounted bike, not a road bike. Fairlight dropped the new version 3 Secan, and as an owner of a version 1, which I've had for many years of happy cycling, I can't wait to see how the V3 rides. I don't expect to ride a million miles differently to my bike, but that aside, I can't wait to see how the details look up close and personal, and chat to Dom, Thomas behind the bike, and find out a bit more about, I guess, the challenge of improving, evolving a bike without losing that sort of core value of that bike in the first place. Anyway, those are my bikes I'm excited to see in 2025 and hopefully ride as well. And if you want to see a video of my new bike predictions that might be launched next year, watch this video right up here. And of course, don't forget to subscribe by hitting the button right there. But that's all for today. I'll see you again very soon. Thank you so much for watching.